baby, Big Jack. It's all right, honey. I'm not going to hurt you.
You get into more shit.
Hey gang, Uncle Todd and Sonny here, and this week we are in for some more crazy head swapping with the thing with two heads. What a cast! We have Rosie Greer, who you may remember was a football player for the LA Rams back in the 60s, and also became an actor. Probably one of his first appearances was on the TV show Man from U.N.C.L.E. If I remember the episode correctly, he was an uncle agent who was tasked with guarding Mr. Waverly while in the hospital. Perfect casting, man's huge. Some more of his TV work, which is what he was mostly involved with. He had appearances in Wild Wild West, McMillan and Wife, Kojak, Move On, which was a drama about truck drivers in which he had a reoccurring character. He was also in Chico and the Man, Love Boat, and The Jeffersons. Some of his film work included Treasure of Jamaica Reef, this film, a action revenge film called The Glove, which was a gauntlet that was created for police that he stole and was using to exact revenge on those he thought wronged him, and a self-explanatory film, Skyjack. Now, our second lead is the great actor Ray Milland, or Milland, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Got his start in the silent era, but some of his early sound work included appearances in Charlie Chan in London as love interest. He also had the title role in Bulldog Drummond Escapes, probably one of his most engaging and interesting film roles if you've ever seen the way he normally, the serious kind of grouchy demeanor he usually presented with, and here he was very upbeat and eccentric. Of course, he had such great films, his appearances in Sullivan's Travels, and of course his Oscar-winning portrayal of an alcoholic in The Lost Weekend. Some of his other big projects back then included the excellent ghost story, The Uninvited, and of course playing the villain in Alfred Hitchcock's Dial M for Murder. Now, hitting the 70s, he began a long run in horror films, including Black Noon, which was a western / horror film, Frogs, in which animals attack people, The House in Nightmare Park, Terror in the Wax Museum, The Dead Don't Die, in which he played a zombie master, or voodoo master, you know. He was also in Escape to Witch Mountain, that great Disney film. And he was in a very odd psychological horror film called The Attic. And one of his final screen appearances was in The Sea Serpent. Oh, he was also in Look What Happened to Rosemary's Baby. Now, we also have Roger Perry, who was a somewhat regular at this time with AIP. Along with this film, he was also in Count Yorga Vampire and The Return of Count Yorga. playing the hero in both, although they were different characters, although very similar. One of his other film roles was in Roller Boogie, the Linda Blair roller disco vehicle. A lot of his TV work included appearances on Mannix, Hawaii Five-0, The $6 Million Man, Wonder Woman, Chips, Barnaby Jones, and The Fall Guy. So he worked with Lee Majors twice. And rounding it all up is Don Marshall, whose film work included Terminal Island and Uptown Saturday Night, which was one of the Sidney Poitier, Bill Cosby team-up movies. They made, I think, 3. His TV work included appearances on Star Trek, the Ron Ely version of Tarzan, Raymond Burr's Ironside, the second iteration of Dragnet with Jack Webb, the sitcom Good Times, Bionic Woman, and rounding it out we have Buck Rogers in the 25th Century and the Incredible Hulk. So quite the diverse resume there. Well, we open with Ray Milland as Maxwell Kirshner, a renowned surgeon known for transplants, and we see the results of his latest experiment.
Donald, you were right. He does look fantastic. He does? What?
If by fantastic you mean for a two-headed gorilla, I guess so. Well, you know, it's not a bad suit. Anyway, why has he done this? Well, it seems Kirshner is slowly dying from a bad heart. He's maybe got a month and a half left. Well, at this point, maybe 2 months. Who knows? And what he's planning on doing is attaching his head to another body, a healthy body, and then excising the original head. So this is what he plans to do with the gorilla. And when they go to perform that, well, the gorilla doesn't quite go along with it.
Get away! Here, boy! Look at me! Look at me! Get away from him!
He really doesn't want to go along with it. Well, he escapes, and the 2 assistants, after checking on Dr. Kirshner, head out to find him. But they're having trouble figuring out where he went. I mean, seriously, how hard could it be to spot a two-headed gorilla? I think it could be a clue.
You know, guys, it just dawned on me how weird this film is, you know?
Yeah.
It's like kind of goofy.
Oh, poor guy was just hungry. Anyways, he's returned home, and as we get on to our next important point of this experimental treatment he's come up with, the problem of transplant rejection. So, as head of a transplant foundation and one of the leading experts in transplants, he's learned of this paper written by a young doctor about a new method of cutting down on the rejection possibilities. Hires him without even an interview. And when he shows up, we learn something else about Dr. Kirshner.
This is Dr. Williams. Dr. Desmond?
Pleasure meeting you. Phil Desmond, head of surgery. This is Jim Franklin. Hi, how are you? Fine.
Yeah, I think we all know. He doesn't like people with a dark complexion, shall we say. but I don't want to get demonetized. Anyway, he tries to get out of hiring him, but the contract's pretty specific, and so he's got to keep him on for at least a 6-month trial period. Well, he can ignore him because he's got to do a second phase of his operation with his gorilla.
And there was much rejoicing.
It's a success. Well, now he has 2 problems. Although he has been able to attach a head to a gorilla, remove the original head, and then realign the new head, he can't do that to himself. He's going to need another surgeon. So he calls Dr. Desmond, who is #1 man at the foundation, although nowhere near the surgeon Kirshner is.
Perhaps.
Anyway, he comes to see Dr. Kirshner and is explained about how he's only got a few weeks left to live, and shows him the x-rays and how he's been able to do what he did with the gorilla, and now they need to do it with him, and he'd like him to find a good body, a healthy body, maybe someone with a brain tumor that doesn't affect the body. All right, it's a little probably unethical, but maybe not illegal. But they don't have luck finding this kind of specific kind of donor. So, with time running out, Dr. Desmond goes to the governor. Maybe someone on death row would like to help.
Offer from the office of Lieutenant Governor to all men presently on death row. We are hereby offering one of you the opportunity of donating your body to science rather than undergo your present sentence of death by electrocution. While the resulting scientific experiment will, after a period of 30 days, also result in your death.
Well, they are on death row. They're going to be executed. Maybe someone who's nearing that date without a stay might be willing to agree to this experiment. And one does, just as he's about to be taken to the electric chair and have it fired up. Or was it? Well, anyways, he's being led to the execution chamber when he decides he will like to take that offer up. And you see, the thing is, he maintains his innocence. And he thinks his girlfriend was close to proving his innocence. An extra 30 days might be just enough time to get him freed. So he agrees. When he arrives, the other doctors aren't too happy, but Kirshner only has maybe a day, 2-minute maximum before he's gone. He's in a coma right now, so they go ahead with it. And when Kirshner awakens, although the operation is a success, he's not real happy with it.
Is this some kind of a joke?
I've had worse.
You think Kirshner wasn't too happy? Wait till you see Jack's reaction.
Why'd you guys do this to me? Why'd you do this to me?
Easy, take it easy.
Let me go, let me go.
Yeah, I think we'd all have that reaction. Anyway, they're keeping him sedated from now on. And now they have that rejection problem. So they call in Dr. Williams, not telling him who the patient is, although he can figure it out since he's at Kirshner's house. And they don't let him see what the transplant was. And his work helps. So, you know, time has passed. But with time passing, because they're running into other problems like infection, they've had to reduce the sedation that they've been using on Jack so that his body can have more strength to fight the infection, which leads to Jack deciding he doesn't want to stay there anymore. Okay. Now he just has to get his clothes on and deal with the two police guards.
Hi, keeper.
Holy shit. Ah!
All right. We'll call it a draw.
Well, now he's got a gun. Thanks to the police. This also leads to a pretty funny running gag throughout the rest of the film.
Take it easy, lady. I'm not going to hurt you.
Run, you idiot! Get help! 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 Shut up.
Yes, the two of them will be spending the rest of the film bickering. Of course, the screams bring the rest of the household up, which does give Jack a way of escaping.
You, so brother. You better call. Yeah. Why? You're now the chauffeur. Let's go.
As they are making their getaway, Jack finds out Williams is also a surgeon.
Then how about you taking old happy face off from here? Williams, turn this car around immediately, now! You don't do it, and I'll get rid of him my way. Williams!
That'd be about as smart as you jumping out of this car.
How's that?
I mean that if you kill him, you'll kill yourself.
Yeah, it seems if he removes the head by himself, he'll die. Makes sense, you know, it's attached to him, connected to everything, so the only safe way to do it is through a surgery. Yeah, it complicates things. Also, the police were notified of his escape, which leads to him quickly being spotted and given, as Enos used to say on the Dukes of Hazzard, hot pursuit.
Shooting at us! Stop that car, you black bastard! Stop it! Whatever you say, baby.
You know, Ray, you might want to watch what you say while you're still attached to this guy. Just saying. Anyways, they evade a roadblock but get a flat tire, so they head off into the hills. But they're seen heading off into the hills, so of course more cops are called and a chopper is called. And while they're taking a rest, we learn more about Jack's innocence.
We'll rest here at dark. Then we'll make it over my girl's house.
Police may be looking for you there.
It's cool, because they don't know where she lives. A cop got killed with a gun I used to own a few years back.
Well, if you didn't do it, didn't you have an alibi?
Willie Thompson.
Well, who's that?
Crazy guy I used to know. He came knocking on my door a few days before I got picked up. He'd pulled a job and the police had gotten a make on him.
What happened then?
Well, the night the cop got killed, Willie and I stayed at my place. The next morning, when I went to the store to get some food, they arrested me. When Willie heard I'd been picked up, he disappeared like a ghost, man.
So, since he's been arrested, his girlfriend and other friends have been trying to find Willie Thompson, but every time they track him down, he keeps disappearing, which is why he needed more time. Well, they don't have any more time because the chopper spots them, they get shot at, and they go back on the run where they come across a motocross and swipe one of the bikes. And then after driving around, disrupting the whole race and causing most of the motorcyclists to crash out, they then get into a long chase sequence that starts like this. That was a good joke. I like that joke. This, of course, leads to a long, long section of them chasing him through this huge field, around, back, and forth. And as this was the era of the car chase / car crash film, like the original Gone in 60 Seconds, Smokey Eat My Dust, and others, we get a lot of car crashes.
Oh my God!
I like Ray Milland's up there. Oh my God! Anyway, while this has been happening, the lieutenant of this chase, suffered a blown tire, and so they keep intercutting the chase sequences and crashes with him fixing his car. And when he finally gets the tire replaced and is ready to take up the pursuit himself, we get the punchline. But he is not to be deterred. The car still runs, so he continues with the chase himself. And after what looks like Jack taking out the entire Los Angeles Police Department in this sequence, more crashes. It's down to our lieutenant and one officer, and they've got him from both sides. Of course, what else could we have ended on? Anyways, they make it to Jack's girlfriend's apartment, Lila, and she meets Dr. Williams and is a bit put off by the white guy on her boyfriend's head or shoulder. And after things get settled and things move to the bedroom for
Sex.
I'll cover his head with a pillowcase.
You must be joking. Is that all you people ever think about?
It's no use, honey. Maybe when I get used to it.
Now you know you got to go.
Very funny.
That has got to be the most unique version of blocking ever. Come on, how often do you see that? Anyway, after Jack falls asleep, and Dr. Williams learns more about the case against Jack, and he's beginning to come around to the idea that he really is innocent. But while this is going on, Kirshner discovers he is gaining control of Jack's body. Then, during dinner, Dr. Williams makes up his mind on what he's going to do.
We can do it right here.
Then you're going to help me?
Yes. I think I will.
Williams, if you cut off my head, that'll be murder.
But it's okay for you to cut off my head, is that right?
Oh, good one there, Jack. Well, that seems to put that argument to rest. So after dinner, they head over to a medical supply place to get needed supplies when Kirshner decides it's time to make his move.
going on here?
Now that he has control of this body, he knocks out both Dr. Williams and Jack. Thereupon he calls Dr. Desmond to see about getting phase 2 of his operation done, but can't do it at the Foundation in a surgical area because police are all over the place. So he decides he's going to do it himself at his home. Nobody's there now. So he takes the car they were using and heads there. When Williams wakes up, he calls Lila to pick him up. He thinks he knows where he's going because he can't go to the Foundation. Looks like it's a race against time. Who's going to succeed first?
No, you don't want to do that, don't you? You'd be killing an innocent man.
And there was much rejoicing.
Talk about in the nick of time. Well, next we see Dr. Williams call Dr. Desmond, tell him to get to the house. Kirshner is in need of his help. Guess what he finds when he gets there?
Philip, get me another body. Please.
Is only mostly dead.
Ooh. Just left him there hooked up to the machine. Oh, it's keeping him alive. And of course, all he wants is a body. Wonder if this was a setup for a sequel. Oh, as for Jack, Lila, and Dr. Williams?
Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day.
Yep. They're heading off to hunt down his alibi, Willie. Again, set up for a sequel, maybe. I don't think so. This is a disjointed film. It's a little odd to begin with, the whole two-headed thing. But big chunk of the first half is taken up with the actual medical procedure, where we see most of the operation. The removal of the head, bringing it over, the attaching, and of course all that setup. And then in the second half, once his escape, it turns into a comedy, where the first half was sort of a semi-serious medical horror / commentary on racism. And second half is just car crashes, slapstick, one-liners, two heads arguing. It takes a little to get used to all that. And of course you got that ending. Much like other horror films like that, where the thing survives and it wants someone else to be its victim, which Roger Perry should be used to, because that was always the ending of the Count Yorga movies, where Yorga would be killed, but there was always one left who had been infected with vampirism, and they'd turn on the hero or heroine, depending on which film you're watching. But for all that, it is kind of fun and a very funny film. The slapstick and the bantering back and forth. And I think most of the budget had to have gone towards the car crashes. Think of those car crashes. I wonder. You think the Blues Brothers was inspired by this? I wouldn't put it past them.
Could be.
But yeah, good acting. Rosie Greer, always fun to watch. He's engaging. Very, what's the word? Not enigmatic, but empathetic. You empathize with him. He's very personable. And of course, Ray Milland is his usual excellent self. He really excelled, especially in his later years, of playing really dislikable villainous characters. Columbo was another example of that. And of course, back in the 50s with like the Hitchcock and stuff, he was actually really good at playing sophisticated villains. And he's kind of sophisticated here, although his prejudices really color his outlook on life. And he has a lot of insulting things to say throughout the film. Skipped most of those. But, he's always good value for the money, even in bizarre films like this. And Roger Perry and Don, what's his name again? Don Marshall. They're good in their roles for what they are. The actress who played Lila, Chelsea Brown, didn't really have a lot to do, but she's okay. But yeah, Marshall, especially in some of the confrontation scenes while they're on the run, excellent. And you find it believable the way he goes from being, we have to do bits by the law, and and well, this is a wrong that needs to be righted, and he's going to go along with that. There's especially in a scene where while they were on the run and arresting, Jack falls asleep, and Kirshner tries to bribe Williams by cutting out Dr. Desmond from the credit for this discovery and sharing it with him. If he does the right thing. But Williams, as he states, you think I'm that dumb? No. Once we're out of this, you'd throw me over and say I was in cahoots with him, which I'm not. But he is later. And that motorcycle sequence, it goes on forever. So far, in fact, that you get tired of the car crashes. It's like if you're a Republic fan and you ever watch old Republic serials, watching one episode after another can get kind of tiresome because it just leads into one fist fight after another, which was a week apart from different episodes, doesn't it? But then it just seems like it's one long 3-hour fist fight. And that's kind of what you feel at the car crash, because it goes on and on and on. Something like 20 cars get demolished in this sequence. And it's probably the longest sequence in the film. But other than that, it's a fun film. It's a little odd. It has a few things to say about the culture of the time, and it was heavily influenced by the popular trend of the blaxploitation genre. And AIP was already making horror tie-ins with that, with like Blackula and Scream, Blackula, Scream. So yeah, it's a pretty middle of the road, I would say, kind of film, where the first half is odd but semi-serious, and then the second half is just out and out farce. But you might enjoy it. I know I found it amusing for the most part. And who wasn't want to see Rosie Greer punch himself? Anyway, please hit like, share, subscribe, and stay after the credits for my favorite scene.
He's taking control of your body.
Cut it out, man! Doctor, help me, doctor! Help me! Help me! Now it's your turn.